Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
It's something about the salt with the sweet of the chocolate just absolutely rings my bells, if you know what I'm saying. No one knows what I'm saying.
Let's talk Devils and Islanders, let's talk Penguins and Rangers, but let's not talk about Flyers, cause they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny.
Don't try it till you've had it. This is episode 64 of the Friends and Rivals podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tom Harkness. Joining me each week are
Steven Wojtowicz,
the guy that should go fuck himself,
Nick Larita.
Yes, Billy, you are certainly the one who should go fuck himself.
If you like that new intro, please leave us a comment wherever you're listening to this podcast.
Well, some jackass kept clapping.
Yeah, because I knew I had to edit it. So I had to clap during the edit. So I knew.
All right. Let's get in the shitty call of the week. How's everybody? Everybody's all right? Yeah, good.
21 San Jose. Both guys, 5 each for fighting.
Wonderful. I think I queued this up properly so we don't have to fucking sit through a.
Oh wow. The title
no
of the
doubt.
video doesn't give it away at all.
No, this one's coming to us from the Islander Ranger game on St. Patrick's Day. If you commit a penalty that's not called that directly leads to the game-winning goal, well, guess what? It's going to be the shitty call of the week.
Trying to get out in front. He's stopped. Hunt for Lindgren. Lindgren hit by Wallstrom. And Cizikas plays it out. Gets it back from Matt Martin. Lindgren without a stick. Cizikas moves in. Lost control. Takes a hit. Winds it around the boards. Hedl chips it out. 2:50 to go. In the third period, tied 1-1. Pollock. Blocked by Lindgren. Pollock again. They score!
So you all saw the play earlier on when Lindgren got hit in the face by an elbow by a Wallstrom. Try and cue it up. Lindgren's coming down the board. Right about there. You can see his head jarred. But there's a better angle of it here.
Yeah, please.
Well, first off.
Able to get back in the right position. So he gets hit with a high stick and loses his stick at the same time, just inside the Islanders' blue line. So he had to come back and defend without a stick. There's the left elbow by Wallstrom, right into the face. And then
that leads directly to the Palmieri goal that
I have issues with that leads directly to the Palmieri goal.
Okay, so
is he even still on the ice at this point?
Well, hold on. So the play goes back the other way and goes into the zone.
Yes.
Lindgren, no stick.
Right, no stick. Fine, I get it. Okay.
So now Lindgren's got to go to the bench or get a new stick from the bench. And now he's kind of out of
the
position.
zone.
And chaos down there. Directly leading to the goal by Palmieri. And also, if the penalty was called, the play would have been dead as soon as Cizikas touched the puck.
That's fine.
So there you go. It directly
leads to 15 seconds after the fact when the guy's no longer on the ice.
The play would have been blown dead. The play was continued. Of course, it's directly leading to Palmieri scoring the goal.
I agree with that. Because if he's got his whole face in his stick, and the way the play went, it definitely affected the way the play went. Even though it was 15 seconds later or whatever it was, the whole chain of events was started with the non-call, in my opinion.
Yeah, but then you could say something that happened, 45 minutes earlier in the game affected the chain of events too. So where do you draw the line?
The whistle.
Probably somewhere in between.
Well, the whistle. If a whistle had blown in between, that's where I'd draw the line.
I don't know. So on the Isles broadcast, they didn't even actually show the replay of the elbow. And it took me
because they're fucking homers.
No, I mean, yeah, but
they just don't know how to work the equipment. It's got nothing else to do with that.
New phone, who did?
I did go online to try and find a replay. Nobody seemed to to care that much about the elbow.
No, because Lou had it all scrapped from YouTube.
Well, Nick is right. I went back to try and find the clip on Twitter. I couldn't find it anywhere.
No, because it seemed like, well, I think the penalty, it could have been called because it was one of those moves, plays that happened against the boards where it seemed like he, the way that he threw his elbow up was part of like trying to balance himself. I don't think he threw it up. It was such a weird like spot to get hit in the face. And, he gets hit in the face and it obviously get in the nose. It sucks balls. And, he was like completely out of position and pissed about it. And it's understandable. But honestly, it's one of those calls that it happened really fast and it didn't seem like a super obvious thing. It only seemed obvious because of the way that Lindgren jumped back. And, are you calling a penalty?
His head buckled back? Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, but that could have been from from just getting he led with his face going into the leading into it, right?
But so, it was still an elbowing.
Oh, I understand,
and it's still a penalty. Even if you accidentally hit a guy with your stick, it's still high sticking.
Not a follow through. A follow through is not high stick.
No, but if you have your stick out and someone accidentally skates into your stick, it's high sticking.
Yes, but on a follow through, it's not. There's situations where a stick, if you think it's not always a high sticking. I'm saying if you comparatively, elbow is a little weird because but the positioning is so strange in this whole thing. Lindgren's literally leaning into the play.
I agree.
I think it could have gone either way. Is my point. I don't think it was like a big non-call. Lots of worse shit happens during the game. It's just that he hits him in the face with his elbow and his nose bleeds, right?
And it's inside of 3 minutes at the end.
And it happens at the worst, a bad time. But, to Steve's point, they cleared the zone and sure that it could have been that they didn't get off in time, but that's not like Lindgren can skate. He didn't. I know,
but no, it's over 3 minutes. It's just about 3 minutes left in the game. The Rangers would have went on the power play and potentially won the game.
If they call the penalty. I think it's a 50-50 penalty. It's not like they cross-checked him or boarded the guy.
We're going to get into a little bit later on how inconsistent the refs were, at least in the games that I watched. Well, they were all the Ranger games. But the inconsistencies in the calls between officials, I mean, is it worse in the NFL or is it worse in the NHL?
Oh, no, it's worse in the NHL.
You think it's worse?
Yeah.
I'm tending to agree with you.
Oh, yeah.
Between Shesterkin's pads getting pushed last night in the Devil game, which I mean, okay, they lost 7-4. Who gives a shit? But the
changed the whole momentum of the game, though.
But the play in Carolina behind the net where the referees blew the play dead, and the goaltender never had the puck covered behind his own net, mind you. I mean, there's a lot of really bad inconsistencies that the officials are doing this year. Like, it's very well documented. It's a reason why we have shitty call of the week, because they fucking suck.
It's the reason why it leads the show every week.
It's my segment, so of course it leads the show every week.
Certainly not the superior production done behind the segment, since you just now learned how to set the video up. And we don't have to listen to commercials anymore.
What you talk? This was perfect production tonight. I don't know what your problem is.
That's what I'm saying. You just learned now.
Oh my goodness. What?
64 episodes in, you've just learned to set up the video.
Well, look, we were told last week to do some show prep. Well, you know what? Fucking Brian, I got your show prep right fucking here. 7 pages of show prep, you fucker.
Holy shit.
Wow.
It's a book.
It's not just Bill I'm pissed at this week, Boner. It's you too. All right.
By the way, for those of you,
I didn't think we knew who we were.
Do we let we got to let them in now, right? We got to take them behind the curtain.
Yeah. One of the short guy who reviewed us before reviewed us again with his son's account. He got me good, the little fucker too.
Nice job.
All right. I want candy. I want candy.
I want candy.
See, now that would have been the agenda item had Bill let me fucking send the agenda. Oh, it's the same thing.
Nobody fucking stopped you.
Oh, it's the same thing every week. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Now we're doing candy bars. So, I mean, I don't think I have any that are on the fence that may or may not be a candy bar. What constitutes a candy bar. Give me the general feeling in the room. In the podcast.
A bar that looks like a shit. It has chocolate somewhere in it or nuts.
Are we good if we have multiple ones in the packaging?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, okay. 100%.
Then we're good. I'm good. Then I'm good.
All right.
We want to do like we did last week. I'll start number 5. We'll go with number 1.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
Right. Steve, go first.
My honorable mention.
What? We're not doing honorable mentions.
What?
I got
honorable mention
last year.
Okay.
What the hell are you doing?
Okay. Number 5, the 100 grand bar.
That was.
I knew someone would have that on their list.
That was on my list for sure.
It's like the grandpa of grandpa bars.
Sneaky but delicious. Consistently good. Tastes the same now as it did 30 years ago.
Yeah, but don't put that in the fridge or the freezer because you will break a tooth.
Oh no, that's not a fridge or freezer.
No, listen. My honorable mention is. I'm only kidding. Number 5 for me is a whatchamacallit.
Oh.
Number two honorable mention on my list.
Highly underrated candy bar, the whatchamacallit. But my brother said something to me at one time, my brother Chris. He said the king size are better than the regular size. And God damn it, he's 100% correct. For whatever reason, maybe just because there's more.
Just more filler.
Larger.
The king size, banging.
That's a big fucking candy bar, though.
That's a big fucking candy bar.
With all these candy bars, it's always about the ratio. And that's why the Christmas, the Halloween versions never taste as good as the original.
They never made the whatchamacallit in the small one size.
Because maybe the ratio just wasn't, they couldn't get the ratio down.
You can't really find that much anymore. You have to go to certain places that actually sell regular sized candy bars. Because if you go to like CVS or Rite Aid or gas stations, they all have just like the massive,
the staples.
Yeah. Big ass ones.
All right, Nick, go ahead.
So number 5, no honorable mention this week. If I did, it would be a Frozen 3 Musketeers. That'd be my honorable mention if I had one.
How does that work? It would be my honorable mention would be.
I thought about it, but then I just
if he was allowed to do an honorable mention,
my honorable mention would have been a Mr. Good Bar, actually.
All right. Well, the little ones or the big one?
Yep.
All right, number 5 is it was flashed by Steven. It's a Crunch Bar.
Nestle Crunch Bar is quite delicious.
It's a good one, man. I've eaten far too many Crunch Bars, and every once in a while I get the taste. I'm like, hey, I should get one of those. It'd be probably pretty good.
Yeah, that's it. You got to have the taste for it. That's when you got to be in the mood for. Yeah,
that's the only time.
I got a question about Nestle Crunch, actually. Like, which motto do we prefer? Chocolate is scrunchious when it crunches? Or the thing where they spelled out Nestle's Nestles? What's the better commercial?
This guy spent so much time in front of a TV as a kid. It's disgusting. How did you spend so much time in front of a TV and not have cable?
I had like Channel 5 and Channel 4 and Channel 2 and Channel 11. It was
just watching Transformers and listening to Nestle Crunch commercials.
And Voltron.
Voltron.
Oh, Voltron.
Yeah,
sure.
No doubt.
Oh, top 5 cartoons. I feel that one coming up.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, it's not. No, it's not food.
It's not food, Bill.
Well, let's get to the foods first.
Oh. All right.
My number 5 candy bar is Twix, and I'm going to specify cookies and cream Twix.
All
Wow.
right.
It's pretty damn good.
You like the left one or the right one better?
Oh, always the left.
Always the left?
It tastes like you're eating somebody else's Twix. Number 4. The Kit Kat.
Break me off a
the
piece of
Kit Kat. Huh?
Solid choice.
Bill is all about the marketing.
Solid choice.
Always good. You can have it anytime. It's 210 calories. It's probably the lowest calorie candy bar you can get. Always good.
That's 210 is for each one of them, right?
No, it's for the whole pack. All 4 sticks.
It'd be funny if that was actually the case. And Steve's like, what? All these years?
It's 840 calories.
No wonder why I'm so fat.
I thought I was getting the healthy chocolate bar this whole time.
My number 4
wafers
might be a little bit obscure. So I'm going with the Take 5 bar.
Ugh.
Oh, you get the pretzel in there, you get the peanut butter, you get caramel.
If I'm not mistaken, though, you're right. It is on the newer side of candy bar lineage.
It's something about the salt with the sweet of the chocolate just absolutely rings my bells, if you know what I'm saying. No one knows what I'm saying.
Imagine they had a strawberry version, man. You'd be
if they had a banana and strawberry version. Good Lord. If they had a strawberry version, period. Oh, good Lord. But the Take 5 bar for me, I'm all in.
All right. My number 4, I feel like we're going to have a lot of these in common, is whatchamacallit. Which I was wondering if anybody else would have that on the list, because
well done, Nick.
One of those ones that I stumbled upon as a kid, and like I remember watching the stupid commercials like Bill. And I was like, that looks stupid. But then because like marketed in the 90s, like with like all these weird kids and like whatchamacallit, like all this fucking weird shit. And like, you know, kids wearing flannel and, you know, I don't know, dumb shit. It was like the 90s. Candy. So yeah, I guess. I don't know. It was like, watch the commercial. I'm like, it was weird. That's all I remember. So anyway, I never ate it until one day it was like someone recommended to me at like tennis camp or some shit. Where like getting snacks at like the Wawa in Princeton. The guy was like, "Whatchamacallit is really awesome. You should get it." And I was like, "All right, I'll try it." And I remember being like blown away. Like this actually is fucking great.
Yeah,
and that was like my favorite candy bar for a bit as a kid. But I can't claim to know anything about the large versus king size.
I'm gonna have to try the king size.
Yeah, interesting thing. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Investigate.
Will do.
My number 4 always satisfies. It's Snickers.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say it's, I don't know. Does anybody eat a whole Snickers bar like ever? It's always got to be like those fun size Halloween things, like you know.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Snickers is the Pepperidge Farms of the candy bar.
Ooh.
So overrated.
So snoochy.
Wow. Look at these fucking like hipsters.
You're 100% wrong, Steve.
You got Bill who eats only the small ones, and Steve who's calling them like, you know, Pepperidge Farm.
Oh yeah,
Man.
Snickers is
What is going on in this
Overblown.
podcast?
So overrated.
I'm guessing Snickers are not on Steve's list.
Not even honorable mention on
not
my
even
list.
an honorable mention.
Wow.
No chance.
Is it the nuts? I mean, it's
Get your fucking peanuts out of here, man.
All right.
If I'm gonna get my peanuts, they're gonna be nice and creamy in a Reese's peanut butter cup. My number 3.
Wow.
Also,
Talk about overrated.
Also 210 calories. Oh, fuck off, you fucking cum sucking motherfucker.
Oh, Nigel Dawes, what are you doing? Oh.
Got the clap in.
Conversation turn quick.
My number 3 is a Kit Kat. Kit Kats are I don't break them apart. I just eat them as one rectangular brick of goodness.
Okay, so do we want to get a little bit of a deeper dive into my psyche?
I'm not breaking off a Kit Kat. I'm eating the whole fucking
first
thing.
I break off number 1, I break off number 2, but then I eat 3 and 4 together.
You're a psychopath.
Sure. Of course you do. Why wouldn't you?
Why not? That makes sense.
You dip them in milk and then you drink the milk first too? What do you do? Fucking psycho. Holy shit,
Okay.
Nick. What's your number 3?
All right. Number 3, Billy just shat on my Snickers bar a little bit. I'm a little pissed off about that because that is one of the classics. Actually, it was actually Steve shitting on it, calling it.
I shit on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Bill. I don't understand why you could say it. It's one of those things I've eaten a million times. Whenever I'm just like hungry and I don't want to eat a fucking meal, I have gone to eat Snickers, and that stupid ass commercial always resonated with me. That they have like somebody acting like an asshole, like and some celebrity, and then they eat a Snickers bar, like I feel better. And I'm like, that's actually accurate. I've eaten that exact stupid thing so many times before, like a hockey game or like before going to do something. I don't have time to fucking eat. I'll get one of those and just eat it, and it's fucking worked. I don't understand what it is.
For those of you listening at home, even though he never said it, Nick's candy bar at number 3 is the Snickers.
I did say Snickers, didn't I? Oh,
no, you never really.
God damn it. That was dumb. All right. Well, what do you got, Bill?
My number 3 is got more peanuts. It's peanut M&Ms.
Are they more of a candy, Bill? I don't know, Bill. I think those are more. I don't think they're candy bars. I think they're
going to take the risk. I can see that point of view, but I was just going to take that risk and go with it.
I don't know if you can constitute as a candy bar.
All right, we'll go with it.
I'm very disappointed in your fatness.
Number 1 and number 2 on my list are interchangeable.
Of course they are.
But I will give you number 2 as the Twix bar.
Let me guess. You eat one of them upside down while hanging from.
What's your Twix ritual, Steve?
What do you got?
So with the Twix,
what do you just like slap it like it's a
the first one? If you bite it in half of the height wise, you can peel the caramel and chocolate right off of the cookie. And I just eat that first, then I eat the cookie, and then the second one I eat as you normal folk probably would.
Like if Steve was a serial killer, he would probably like peel the skin off of people.
No, only the first half, and then he just eat the rest of it,
only the
a normal person.
Only the face, and then he'd put your face on his and be like, "Oh,
yeah." He'd put the face on, and then go to town on the genitals, just like a normal person would.
drain all the blood out, and then start chowing down.
I cannot even defend myself here because it's just fucking ridiculous.
My number 2 is the Snickers bar.
Yeah.
Nothing satisfies like a Snickers bar.
Then why is it number 2, stupid?
It is number 2.
Yeah, if nothing satisfies like a Snickers, wouldn't it be number 1?
No, because it's not my favorite. Fucktard. Why don't you go peel off someone's face? Jesus Christ.
So your number 1 candy bar isn't satisfying?
Oh, it's good, and it doesn't satisfy like a Snickers bar does.
That doesn't make sense.
Steve is equating.
All right.
Steve is equating satisfying with best.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Those are the same term. That's why he's having a problem figuring this one out.
It makes sense. His number 1's a Milky Way, so it's okay.
Next.
Number 2 for me, I'll say this time, is a Kit Kat. Hard to fucking beat a Kit Kat, man. That has been probably my number 1 many times if I had to go back and forth. Super good. It's like always it's so just there's 4 of them, and they're not 220 calories a piece, so that's good. You know, if you're on a diet.
But it's the healthy candy.
They also make 1,000 different flavors of it if you're in Japan, apparently, and you can get like milk chocolate. The mint one. That was one that's had recently.
No, get away with your stupid mint shit. Don't get away with your mint stuff.
Yeah, strawberry ones. They got all sorts of shit. It's crazy. But anyway, the wafers, chocolate, combinations is super good. And my favorite to steal from the kids every year in their Halloween.
Oh, at Halloween?
Kit Kats. Yeah.
All right, my number two is the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. One of the more versatile candies you could have. You could just eat it right out of the package. You could freeze them. You could chop them up and put them on your ice cream sundae. You could eat a hole through the middle and stick your dick in it. Like
you're bringing me back to my childhood, Bill.
Okay, and my number one, as previously teased by Thomas, is the Milky Way.
That was a no-brainer.
The best caramel, nougat, and chocolate.
Steve,
everything you could possibly need.
Do you like to put them in the freezer?
I will eat them as a cold Milky Way or as a room temperature Milky Way. Yes.
Yeah, my father loved the Milky Way. He loved frozen Milky Ways, but that was his favorite too. Was the old Milky Way. Mm-hmm. Hey, look, honorable mention for me for sure would be a Milky Way.
I don't even comprehend how it could be an honorable mention only.
But my number one, and this is not debatable, is the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. As Billy said, it is probably the most versatile candy, period, in the history of candies. Okay?
So let me pose a question to the group.
What do you want? I'm not done.
Oh, well, it's on the peanut butter cup though.
Okay.
All right, so you finish your little spiel and then I'll ask everybody. Sorry.
When people would go to Friendly's to get like a Jim Dandy or something like that, or just like the ice cream that they made the face out of with the Reese's Pieces. No. I wanted the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup sundae. Nothing better than having that. I'm sorry, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
The chocolate sauce, the peanut butter sauce, the ice cream, the peanut butter cups.
How long has Reese's Peanut Butter Cups been around? 100 years? Probably somewhere around that.
It says right here on the package, since go fuck yourself. Why would I know that?
Right, 75, 100 years. But every time you take one of those cups out of the wrapper, the little bit in the middle sticks right to the bottom wrapper. Now, why wouldn't they have fixed this yet? Why can't they fix that?
Tradition.
I'm losing chocolate in that little wrapper, that little holder.
You don't then lick the wrapper?
Of course I do, but I want a part of the cup itself. Very upsetting. I'm very upset.
So my question for the group is, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup around Easter comes out in an egg shape.
Oh yeah.
Do you like those as well?
Absolutely. And the bunny shape, they have bunny shape. No. I'm thinking of the pumpkin shapes for Halloween.
Bunny shape?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. No. They egg in the pumpkin. Yeah.
You don't think it's a completely different ratio and it throws off the whole taste of the candy?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Anyone else?
Well, do you like the miniature ones?
Not as much as I like the full-size ones, no.
My preference is the original over the egg or any other version. But I like those hard chocolate edges that are the shape of the paper that it comes in, and biting through that. Yeah, if I do have a candy that has any sort of ritual, like Steve has a ritual for everything he puts in his mouth, it'd be like that.
I'm glad I didn't share the Milky Way ritual, but okay.
Thank God.
Wait. I'm sorry, guys.
Nope.
Do tell, my friend.
Nope. Taking that one to the grave.
No. Yeah, at this point, come on. Let us know your Milky Way ritual. Too. Come on.
There's something anal has to be part of the story. I can't.
Wait, he puts it where? My goodness.
Bill, what's your number? What's your number one?
Nick, skip me.
Nick.
It's Nick's turn.
Number one is something that is no longer around. Can't get anymore. Hershey's Bar None. I don't know if you guys remember Bar None, but it was like a Twix. You had two of them in there. It was like chocolate, wafer, peanut, caramel, that combination of good shit. But I don't know what it was. It was like a better Twix. That's all I remember. And I used to do it was hard to find normally. You couldn't just go and find it every time. It was one of those candy bars that was like, sometimes they didn't have it at those places, wherever you went to get candy. I'd have to find it at like a gas station or some shit that still sold that kind of stuff. It was like, what you recall was kind of weird too. Wasn't always easy to find, but I remember Bar None being like, over time, it just became harder and harder to find to the point where you couldn't find it anymore. And
Billy apparently found it on Amazon for you for $18. There you go.
18 for one bar?
No,
12 count.
So
12 count.
before the show, I did look up
12 count. Okay.
somebody came out with a newer version. Basically, it's like some company that remakes old candy bars. So they remade them. I don't know if it's
Willy
the same.
Wonka.
No, it's not Willy Wonka. It's some company. You can look it up. If you look at Bar None candy bar on Google, you'll find some hit for it. You can buy a box for like $28. And I was like, I'm not buying 24 of these fucking things. And if they're like, for no reason, nostalgia, nah. Anyway, that was my number one. Because it's not there anymore, if I had to name something else, the closest thing was Twix. I mean, it's not the same, but that was easily my number one for a long time. And it's one of those places I always go to, like, whenever I go to a candy store, I always look for it. I've never, just because it's a weird thing, be like, maybe they'll have it, even though I know it'd be like from like 20 years ago. Fucking terrible. It's like looking for a Crystal Pepsi. You're like, yeah, maybe they have Pepsi. Ecto Cooler,
Crystal
dumb shit.
Ugh. All right, Bill, what's your number one?
My number one, sometimes I feel like a nut and sometimes I don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, and that's my number one.
Don't.
Wow.
I'll give an honorable mention on that one.
Not even an honorable. I mean, I'd give it an honorable mention, but number one?
Number one. I love coconut. Love coconut.
Wow. Unbelievable.
It's a little bit of that coconut fruit in my candy.
Wow.
You know what I've learned tonight? Nick likes his candy with the Rice Krispie treats in it. And Bill loves nuts.
Giggity. All right, now we have a little special guest with us. My son Ryan. Ryan, say hello.
Hi.
Okay, if you had to have one chocolate bar,
Reese's Cups.
it's not debatable, right?
No thought.
Not debatable.
Didn't even have to think about it.
Not even
Straight
debatable.
Reese's Cups with Coke. That's the best.
With Coke.
Ryan, what about the Milky Way?
Disgusting. Snickers beats it.
Dude! High five.
Hey, Ryan. Buddy. Hey, Ryan. Tyler is way cooler than you are.
Oh, man. Low blow.
That is a low blow. That is a low. Well, but before he gets to his little beef, he's got one of you. Like ones that we didn't say tonight, Baby Ruth's. We didn't say Baby Ruth. We didn't say the Butterfinger. Butterfingers are freaking delicious.
I thought Billy would have that.
I honestly thought Billy would have had that too.
Reese's Cups. I mean, you can't have them when you get Reese's Cups.
And the OG, the Hershey bar, with or without nuts.
Too plain.
Gross.
Too plain. There's nothing else going on there.
Even with the almonds or the crackle, it might as well be a crunch bar, right?
Yes.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. So Ryan was listening to the podcast like he always does.
Nice.
And
give us a review, man.
He's got a beef with one of you guys. Go ahead.
It's not me.
Share your beef.
First off, Almond Joy is worst candy ever.
What?
Yeah, buddy.
I don't know about worst candy ever.
And
delicious. Worst candy. I don't know.
Mr.
Well, that
Williams,
wasn't the
you
beef.
share.
Shit. Oops.
Well, that's one of the reasons why he has beef.
Fuck, Bill, you can't just curse with the kid on the phone.
He's not on the phone.
Whatever.
We don't.
Cusses a lot.
Oh yeah, he does. Wow, that's ironic.
First off, the intro to the podcast, the intro song.
Intro stays. You don't have a say in that.
Doesn't have that much cuss in it, which is good.
Yes.
The ending repeats the F word 5 times and does not make any sense. I think he just has a random connection that it's in his genes to say the F word a lot.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's hereditary.
I'm wearing shorts, but yeah, I think it's in there somewhere.
We didn't need to know that.
No, get jeans and shorts. You said jeans. No, you didn't get the joke. Well, you're 9. Why would you get the joke?
Well, it is a dad joke. He's got a few years until.
I have a riddle for you guys.
Okay.
We're not doing riddles.
Next week.
No. Say the riddle.
Okay. Anyways.
Hurry up.
We'll do it this week.
You got to go to bed.
What has 4 letters, sometimes has 9, never has 5?
4 letters, sometimes has 9, never has 5.
What has 4 letters, sometimes has 9, never has 5?
Yeah, you got them. They're all, look at them. No. Now you know what to do.
Bill, come on. You're a math guy. Let's go.
Now
This isn't a math problem. It's a riddle.
You say peace out and you go to bed.
I'll come back next week for the answers.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'll give you a week to think about it.
Oh,
thank you.
Thanks.
You guys are still probably not going to get it.
Thanks, Ryan.
Good luck, bro.
Love you, buddy. Good night.
That was fucking awesome. That fucking kid is the fucking bomb.
Billy!
Love Ryan.
Goodness with your potty mouth.
You know he's gonna fucking listen to this, and why are you cursing?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You guys have to figure out that riddle. It's gonna be a tough one for you.
Googling that shit.
No, you can't. What are you cheating for?
Shit, I'm gonna Google it the second we're done here.
I'm gonna ask my kids tomorrow. They'll probably know it. They're smarter than me.
So that ends the candy. What are we doing? What do we got? Chip. We gotta do chips, right? We gotta do chips. We gotta do chips. We gotta do chips. No.
I'll do chips.
I figured chips was next, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's the most logical progression of this segment.
Okay.
I can't wait for Billy to have number one as Sun Chips next week. I can't wait.
Oh God, he probably will.
Wait for that to be number one.
Oh, they're the worst.
Dear God.
Spoiler alert.
They're really not. I like them. I gotta tell you, Bill. I like them.
All different flavors of Sun Chips.
I hear you. I like them. So we'll do chips next week. Chips. Get your top 5 chips. Did we do ice cream? No, because I don't want one of you fuckers saying mint chocolate chip. Fuckers.
Number one.
Perhaps after chips, we'll do ice cream. I like that idea a lot because there's a lot of different ways we can go with that. Finally, the trade deadline happened.
Did it though?
What? Yeah, of course.
Did it though? Did anything exciting happen?
Not for the Islanders or Devils.
Raquel, of course.
Lots of good. I mean, I don't think I was expecting Fleur to move, even though there was chatter of that. I wasn't expecting him to go to Minnesota of all fucking places.
Yeah.
They don't play the Blackhawks for the rest of the season, so I guess it really doesn't matter. And his connection with Bill Guerin, but still, it was a little shocking to me.
And he goes to Minnesota because, like, he talks about not wanting to leave because he doesn't want to leave his family, and then he goes to Minnesota. He's like, "Yeah, it's not too far." You fucking kidding? Chicago to Minnesota is plenty far.
They sent the private jet down to pick him up so he could be at the game that night, so he can play. So I thought there was, I think the value was all fucked. The value was like through the roof on certain people, and then other people you thought the value was going to be high on, and it really wasn't. Like the package that went to the Flyers, fuck the Flyers, from Florida.
Fuck the Flyers. Fuck
Ryan.
I mean, it was not good. I was expecting a lot more, and the package for Brandon Hagel. 2 first-round picks?
Yeah, that's ridiculous overpay.
Okay. But the Penguins, they got my boy Raquel was somebody that was linked to the Rangers, and the Penguins, after of course freaking Ron Hextall going, we don't need anything, we're good to go with the team we have. Was that just posturing, or did he see all the other teams in the Eastern Conference make moves and then just say, well, I got to make a move now?
You're always posturing. You're always looking to improve your team, but you don't want to give away and act like you're desperate to go fill the need, or the price goes up. So pretty easy. What is going on?
Tara, did you graduate?
Tara, what?
She finished her class.
Congratulations.
Nurse aid number 1. Nurse aid 1. That's the certification.
That's the first step.
First step.
Oh, nurse. You got to find that.
Hello, nurse.
Animaniac, Steve.
So we expect a little dress up next week.
Oh yeah, we expect a slutty nurse next week.
Yeah, Tyler won't say anything.
Oh, good. We're expecting slutty nurse costume next week.
Absolutely not.
Why me no?
You know, I heard that Steve absolutely loves the Southern accent. And you know what? I just have the best one. I just will keep going on and on and on, and I will tell you.
This is my hell.
I will tell
is
you,
my personal fucking hell.
Fucking great.
Oh my
Welcome
God.
to the show, Tara Travis.
What was that?
Oh, forget to get the candy thing. This has been my favorite segment now.
I heard that you got the best ratings when you heard my husband. Who was it? Randy, my husband.
Oh,
yeah. And you know what? This is Rhonda.
Oh no. No,
Rhonda
their names
and
are
Randy.
practically the
We
same.
had
That's
the cutest wedding. It was hockey, all the hockey. And I came down in my skates with my stick. And I had a stick as a train, just like 50 sticks. And it was a train going down the aisle.
God.
It was amazing. It was so great.
I hate Rhonda more than I hate Randy.
Rhonda, I need to ask you a very important question. Are you by any chance related to Randy? I mean, not by marriage.
I mean, technically we're about, 3 cousins removed.
Yeah, that's fine.
It doesn't count.
No, that's fine. You're good. That doesn't count. You're right. It doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
There's no cross contamination. And as a nurse aide 1, I can tell you that there definitely is no cross contamination there. It's absolutely.
Could you imagine
fine
going to the
marry
doctor
your
and having
third
this
cousin
as your
removed.
fucking nurse? Could you imagine your nurse talking to you like this? Would you trust her at all?
Yeah, that's why my nurse talks exactly like that. What are you talking about?
She'll go fetch me a sweet tea. I mean, I love it.
Oh yeah. I'll just plump the 2 girls up, get you that sweet tea, and it'll be great.
There is nothing like Southern hospitality of a
Absolutely. I'll go in, I'll say, here's your sweet tea, sir. Let me turn on some Pittsburgh Penguins. And do you need that bed bath? Do you need that bed bath now? Because I'll just go get my little washcloths and we'll wash you right up.
Fucking peppy. It's disgusting.
I always need that.
Ugh. Too chipper.
Rhonda, are you a fan of the Hurricanes like Randy? You guys go to the games?
Yes, I am. I am a big fan of the Hurricanes now. And I was the Islanders when I lived in New Jersey. And since moving down here and getting this beautiful accent, I just, I said, I'm just gonna go all in and be a Hurricanes fan.
When she's not at church, you can find her at a Hurricanes game, I'm sure.
You're goddamn right.
Oh, Ryan.
Salty language.
Wait, is Bill? Are you wearing a Rangers sweatshirt?
Of course, it's cozy.
Represent.
Well, it was so nice talking to you all. Now I'll get my jersey.
Rhonda, it was so nice meeting you. We can't wait to have you.
Rhonda, don't feel like you ever have to come back on the show again.
I'll
we appreciate you visiting once.
Anytime you want. Look at this man. He just wants to kiss me because he loves it so much.
You guys got to get the earbuds so you can have each one in the ear and both come on the show next time.
Actually, we've never really heard Randy and Rhonda at the same time. I think they're the same person.
Well, they're not. Obviously.
Absolutely not. I have a much better accent than he does.
She is right. It does sound much sexier than Randy's. I got to tell you.
Randy breaks into an Irish.
Hey, Rhonda, don't you have to go churn some butter somewhere?
Well, no, I got to go read my romance novel. It's that time.
Is it the guy with the nipple on the cover?
Muddy time.
No, they're just kissing.
Oh, okay.
It's Fabio and some woman making out, I'm sure.
Stuff. All right,
okay,
love you guys.
Rhonda. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, Rhonda.
So much for impressions with Nick.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't top that one.
Nope.
So Steven, just ignore your text from earlier.
Nope. I gotta tell you, my new favorite character ever is Rhonda.
Oh, Rhonda's taking #1 slot. Favorite one. Favorite impression is Rhonda.
That is genius.
Nope.
Absolutely genius. Well done, Rhonda. Shit, where were we? Bill, were you talking about? You were talking about.
I was just talking. Fuck him. They're losing anyway tonight.
They're losing to Buffalo. Fuck.
Raquel Welch, whatever his name is, and he's going to play on the second line. Well, who knows what line he's on? He started out actually on the third line with Carter and what's that guy that can't score? Kapanen, and they kept Heinen and actually Russ on the second line. So we'll see where he actually fits in.
Well, the Rangers definitely dipped their toe into the trade pool this week. It's not only the trade pool they dipped into; they also dipped into the college free agent pool as well, signing University of Nebraska Omaha defenseman Brandon Scalen, 6'4", 213. It's a big boy, man. Holy shit! But before they did that, they traded the 4th round pick in 2022 to Florida for Frank Vetrano, Frank the Tank. He was is a cap casualty for Florida. I'm sure it's a player that did not want to lose, but they needed the cap space in order to get Giroux and everybody else under the God's green earth that they traded for. They also traded for Justin Braun, formerly of the Philadelphia Flyers. Fuck the Flyers.
Fuck the Flyers.
For a 3rd round pick in 23. Depth 3rd pair guy, and even your 7th defenseman, although he slotted right in for Schneider against the Devils last night. Tyler Mott from Vancouver for a 4th and 23. Be a 3rd and 4th line guy, speed, can hit and play the penalty kill. And Nick Merkley, formerly of the New Jersey Devils. Nick Merkley. How many games did he actually play for the Devils?
Oh, not more than a handful.
No, he's obviously been on a handful of teams. He'll be reporting directly to Hartford. We traded Anthony Botetto for him. We needed to get rid of a defenseman so we can slot this college kid in Hartford for the remainder of the year. And the biggest name that the Rangers got on trade deadline day was Andrew Kopp from the Winnipeg Jets for the most ridiculous conditional picks I've heard, and they're easy conditionals to turn into a first, right? The Rangers have to make the Eastern Conference Finals, and Kopp has to play 50% of those games. It's after seeing what happened last night, don't think that's going to happen. So it looks like we're going to keep our 1st round pick. And Winnipeg gets to choose either St. Louis's 2nd this year or the Rangers' 2nd next year in 23. Look, he was a pretty serviceable guy, 13-22 for 35 points in 56 games played. He'll be your 3rd or 4th line guy. Could he be a potential replacement for Ryan Strome? Maybe. He's definitely going to be a cheaper option for sure. But we will see more on the Rangers in a little bit. But and the Devils made one move. Is that correct?
Yes.
Got the Hamburglar?
They got the Hamburglar for Nate Schnarr. Nate Schnarr, who I didn't think was going to be more than an AHL player for this team. I feel like there's better role players down the line for the Devils. So they got Andrew Hammond to kind of solidify the goalie position for the rest of the season. It's going to allow them to send Dawes back down to Utica as they get ready for a big playoff push. Utica's number 1 in the AHL right now. So they expect to go deep into the playoffs. They'd like to have Nico Dawes. They're going to probably recall a couple of players after the season's over for their playoff push as well.
Well, they had to be on the roster.
Yeah, they did a bunch of paper moves where they sent people down and called them right back up.
Yeah.
This Andrew Hammond is really weird for me, man. He doesn't have bad stats, but he's never been given a real chance to be the number 1 anywhere.
No, he's given the chance. Where Ottawa?
And he had seasons. His first season, he went 20 wins, 1 loss, 2 ties. And his second season, he had 7 wins, 4 losses, and 11, I guess, overtime losses. That's
overtime losses. Jesus.
A lot of overtime losses, but you're talking shootouts then too. Maybe he just wasn't as good on a shootout. Maybe with a little bit more training, he could have been better because he never really had to do that growing up.
And then 34, you said he's 34?
He's 34 years old. Yeah.
Those are some of the most bizarre statistics I think I've ever heard for like season 20-1 for
21-2. Yeah.
11. Unbelievable. How do you pull that up?
52 starts across his career, 52 NHL starts, 30, 15, and 6, with a .923 save percentage and a 2.31 goals against average. Those are really good numbers.
These are solid numbers.
If he was on the Devils the whole season and was just average, they anticipated they would have won 8 more games. So 16 more points.
Goaltending this year?
What?
You didn't have just average goaltending this year?
Absolutely not.
No.
We
did not.
So average goaltending, and they're the first team that doesn't make the playoffs, which is really where everybody expected them to be. That first or second team on the outside looking in. So again, I feel like we're going to see there's 18 more games left throughout the season. He's going to get 10 to 12 starts, I would guess. And we'll see how he does. Maybe they trade Bernier away. Maybe they trade Blackwood away and get somebody else to be the starter and he be the backup.
Was the Hamburglar hurt?
He is hurt. He was hurt. He got hurt on March 4th, but he skated today with the goalie coach.
Yeah, I know he was meeting him in Toronto or something like that.
I feel like he's going to be back. He's going to be playing in, maybe not this weekend. They have games Saturday and Sunday. Then they're off again. They're off till Thursday. So I feel like Thursday, the 31st, we might see him and we might see Miles Wood.
Now, the Islanders didn't make a move or trade move. They did extend a couple of guys. You think Lou listens to the podcast and he heard me talk about Clutterbuck on the Rangers last week, or maybe he read Larry Brooks's post. I don't know. I tend to think he listened to our podcast before he read Larry Brooks's article.
I have a feeling Lou doesn't even know where to find podcasts.
Yeah, if it's not in the newspaper, I don't think he's finding it. Yeah, so we
nope, they didn't trade anybody for any type of value. I mean, even a 7th round, get another pick or something for Chara. Come on.
I think part of that is that trading some of these guys for like a 6th or 7th is kind of like a slap in the face to the guys that could potentially come back. Like if they were to trade Clutterbuck, the idea would be that he would likely come back to the team. He's pretty entrenched here.
7 for Clutterbuck, you'd probably get a lot more for him.
Well, yeah.
Look at what Hagel got. Look what Raquel got. Look what all these guys got that are their 3rd, 4th line guys.
Sure. So there was a lot of teams apparently calling about Varley and Clutterbuck, but neither guy, I think, were generating enough for what he wanted. So likely he was probably asking for a first for both guys. Is my opinion. Varley is a number 1 goalie in the league. I don't think that's really too much of a stretch anywhere.
No, I think he would have gotten a first for him, but I don't think he wanted to eat money next year. I think that the problem might have been retaining some of his contract for next year because some of these teams can't afford it.
As per Lou, there was a lot of calls on Varley. So it wasn't interest, and I don't think that was the problem. I think the problem is that either that maybe teams are trying to trade picks as opposed to maybe as a player. There's a couple things to this, right? So first, they didn't want to get rid of these guys, especially because we lose some of that value in terms of the team, right? So losing Varley, that's a pretty big goaltender spot, and he wants to have somebody back. And I think if he was going to trade Varley, it'd be for maybe a defenseman, not just a pick. And that is also because what he said afterwards was that Lou is that the team couldn't get better by getting some of these picks. Because he wants effectively to make some hockey trades. So meaning that he wants to get guys in here. He's not looking to get younger and the time is kind of now. And even though this year is basically a wash, the team's been playing well or better and been playing better. And
my favorite new word, Weller. I'm going to use it a lot.
I don't know where that came from.
I'm going to use it a lot. Weller.
I've talked a lot today, so my brain's probably stop talking, you're dumb. So anyway, yeah, Clutterbuck, I think, is a guy that would have came back if they traded him, but I think he's a guy that they probably asked for a lot for, and teams are hesitant because he's a rental, probably to give too much for him. And then like I said, I think last week was that Green and Chara earlier had said that they wanted to stay on the team early in the year. They didn't want to like really go to other teams, and apparently, like a week before the trade deadline, Lou had also talked to all the guys the vets effectively that could move to see if they still had that same kind of feeling, and there was no change there. So guys like Char and Green didn't really want to go chase a cup, so they wanted to stay where they were. And
so kudos to them for fucking staying put, and for the Islanders for re-signing guys for next year.
So to that the same after the trade deadline, we extended Parisi and we for 1 year at $750K for the minimum. And then Clutterbuck came in right where I was hoping he would come in, which is about 1.75 for 2 years, which puts him in line with Matt Martin's deal. They'll expire at the same time. They'll probably, either come in less after that, or retire. Who knows? Those guys are not going to last forever. But the idea is to keep that fourth line together for a couple more years, and cheaply now. It's not like we're paying Clutterbuck 3.5 next year, which was a lot for him. And he's playing fourth line minutes is, even though they play a lot, it was kind of killer. So over time, the structure of the team has started to get better in terms of that, the way that the contracts are structured. So looking better. But so that was it. The Isles were pretty much stand pat and hope for next season. That's kind of
I thought the Avs would have been one of the teams that, if not called for Varlamov, wanted him back, because like they made some okay moves. Josh Manson and Lehkonen from Montreal. I mean, it's really the moves that they made. And are you okay as an Avalanche fan, or is any Avalanche fan okay with Darcy Kemper as the number one goaltender going into the playoffs? You okay with that? I don't know. I would be a little skeptical of having Darcy Kemper as my number one going into a cup run with this team. I don't know. Would have liked somebody with a little bit more season. Like, he's played well during the regular season, but there's lots of goaltenders that play well during the regular season then crumble in the playoffs. And there's also some that stand in their head, but Kemper has never been the one to stand on his head during the playoffs.
I agree. I'm not a huge fan of Kemper. He's not, for that defense, I was, in terms of the guys they got, and he's not getting those kind of like those numbers. He's not looking. I don't think I've watched him and been like, yeah, that guy's going to steal a couple games here or there. He's going to have to get real hot. I mean, he's got pretty decent save percentage, but
look,
how much is he plated?
His playoff stats. He has 18 games played, or 14 games started rather, and he's 7-6 with a 2.86 goals against and a 913 save percentage.
Yeah. I was going to say, how much is inflated by the defense in front of him this year? So we'll see.
2 years ago, it was with the Arizona Coyotes, so no defense whatsoever.
Yeah.
He was 4-5 with a 3.74 and a 913 save percentage. Eee, good Lord. Look, if I'm an Avalanche fan, I don't know if I'd be pretty happy with Darcy Kemper being my number one goaltender, by the way. But I thought they would have done a little bit more than that. Other than that, there wasn't any big flashy names. The Hot Dog Boy stayed in Arizona. Kane stayed. DeBrincat stayed. All those names that you were hearing for clickbait stayed where they were. So, look, teams got better. They improved seemingly their depth of defense and their depth on the forward. There wasn't anybody but Giroux that really went, or Shabbat. And it looks like Florida may have made out the best out of all the teams if you're looking for star players. But it looks like the majority of the players that went and were traded were those depth guys, those third and fourth line guys. And you know what? We talked about in the summertime. It's exactly what the Rangers needed. They had the star guys, and they needed those depth guys. And they needed to take Gauthier out of the lineup. They needed to take McKegg out of the lineup and replace them with actual NHL players. So we'll see what a little bit of time in the practice facility and time for them to mold and gel and play well together, and hopefully it turns into something. But let's ride the Metro. Brought to you by Nestle Quick. Is that better? Did I do it right this week? Hello, boys and girls. Do you hate the taste of regular milk and need energy? Try Nestle Quick. One sip and you can feel the energy in your muscles. Nestle Quick, now available in chocolate and strawberry.
They say the real men drink pink. Then I'm a real man for sure. But if you like the brown, I still love you for who you are. Because it's time for acceptance of everyone, all preference. We're all quick on the inside anyway. Nestle Quick, it does the trick.
All right, Nick, we're going to start with the Islanders. I mean, look, they're getting hot, and they're getting hot at the right time or the wrong time.
Yeah, well, I look. There's we're too far back. Even if they so I was looking at the numbers, and there are 4 games in hand, over the Capitals, who are clearly the only team they could catch. If they won the next 4 games, or to match the number of games that they'd have left with Washington, they'd be 11 points out, and that's too much, I think, to overcome by far with 16, 17 games left. Yeah, it's not really. It's just too far away. I mean, you'd have to go almost win 18 games out of your last 21, which is what they have left to really make it, reasonable. And that's with Washington shit in the bed. I mean, I don't know. It feels just too late. Too little, too late.
Well,
that's
why your March calendar. What, you got Detroit, you got Boston, who you guys pretty much own. You got some Tampa, you got Columbus.
Yeah.
And then in April you got.
But look how many games they have.
They got a lot of games, man.
It's so many games are catching up on. It's not reasonable.
Every week it seems like a 3 and 4.
Even if you make even if you were to somehow make the playoffs, your team would be dead. There's just, I don't know what they'd have left in the tank at that point. We played more than 2 games more than a game every other day in March. So it's just, and then April looks like, I've never seen a April schedule like that, because normally April is a few games and then playoffs start, but this year with COVID and everything getting pushed back and kind of making it condensed with all the bullshit they had with the new stadium, it's just too much. So anyway, they're 3-1 this week, win over the Rangers we talked about. Sorokin had a save of the year candidate in that game, which was phenomenal. Stick save, coming almost breaking his knee to get back. I don't understand how he even didn't destroy his knee by making that save. And it was a very tight game. We lost by the Rangers in the last few minutes with that no call, plus breakdown in that line change where Palmieri was able to get a deflection. But what I really wanted to highlight about that game was really it was exactly the game I expected to see between those two, between Shesterkin and Sorokin. Absolute goalie duel. The two of them were fantastic to watch. And that was what I've been excited to see for the last few years. This is the second time they played against each other, but it's really the first time that they had that kind of game where they were just dueling the whole time. I mean, they're friends from the KHL and their time playing over there, and now they're crushing it in the NHL. And I think those two are going to be really fun to watch every time they play in the next few years. And so I was really excited to watch that happen, and it was fun to watch. We went over the Stars at home. Brock Nelson had a hat trick. He's surprisingly going to be the first time 30-goal scorer, it looks like. At least he's at 27 now on the year. I didn't realize he already passed his career high. So he's just surpassed Barzal for the top in points for the team, and he's got the most goals in the team. He'll probably not hit 40 unless he continues his hot streak, but being a 30-goal scorer the first time, I was surprised with that. I didn't realize he's only really had like 20, 25 goals a year. He's never really been a 30-goal guy.
Tis the season for those guys to outscore themselves.
It's kind of weird. He's a very streaky guy, but he's always been kind of more of the, not shut down exactly, but he's been put in that role a few times against top lines. And he's a good all-around player. So seeing him get those goals, it's one of those things where you're like, is he ever going to do that again? Is it, when you see a guy get like at this point in his career, I think he's like 29, 29. And so I'm like, is he gonna have another year 30 goals? Like, hard to say, but good to see him getting those points. Lost 2-1 to the Flyers. Fuck the Flyers, like team that fucking just traded their captain away. We somehow lost to them in Philadelphia. I don't know. That was not a game they should have lost, especially you figured they would have been a little bit deflated, but Isles did not come out the way they should have. And lastly, we had a shutout over the Senators at home. Game was pretty slow until the last 10 minutes. It was friggin' nutty. Game was very exciting in the last 10 minutes of that game. But Sorokin had a shutout. His sixth of the year. I think his sixth of the year. Could be wrong. I think he's a sixth. He's been playing obviously pretty well. One of the few bright spots on the team. And it's funny if you look at their stats, him and Varley. Clear you figure with the season we've had that the goalie wise you'd see a lot of losses for their starting goaltender, and it's like almost all the lot a majority of the losses are with Varlamov. Not that the Isles give him a lot of support in some of those games, but Sorokin's got a positive win percentage this year. It's just kind of crazy to me. I'm like, how is that? I know he's been good. And I know it's not all in the goaltending at all, but it's just kind of a statistic that kind of jumps out at you when you look like, wow, he's really not that bad this year in terms of wins and losses. It's just strange because of just the way the team's been up and down. Anyway, with that said, we talked about the trades already. None for us. I was happy to see Parise come back. He's been a surprise to see him kind of look a little rejuvenated with Barzal this year. In the last month or so, he's been playing really well together with him. They combination her pretty well, I think. But parroting a little bit what the rest of the announcers were saying is that they really need to find that third guy on that line, and for those two to mesh with. And it doesn't seem like Walshman's really that guy right now. We'll see what happens next year. But he's had a bit of a time with the two of them and hasn't really been scoring much. He's looked good, but I don't know if that's the right guy. Maybe it will be next year. We'll see. But that leaves Bellows and Dobson as the only two RFAs going to next season. And the only UFAs are Chara, Green, and Sebastian Aho. And Chara and Green are probably not coming back. They really need to upgrade on the defense. And it's likely they'll probably try to move somebody like Beauvillier or maybe a Varley to get a defenseman, to free up some space. And I say Beauvillier because he's one of the most tradable assets I think we have. Really hard to move a guy like Bailey to get a younger, player or somebody more established in the defensive end with a decent contract. So that's pretty much what I'm thinking will happen. So we'll see what happens next year with Dobson, his contract, and Bellows is going to be probably a lower one, not a big deal. But
the Islanders are in pretty good shape for what they have to do in the offseason and what they're gonna produce next year. So they're in a really good spot, and now with some cap flexibility, especially with Lewis signing Clutterbuck and the flexibility that they'll have with not a lot of RFAs to sign and with Parise signing where he is. Like, they're in good shape to bring back the exact same team next year. And if they did that, they'd be okay. And I think they'll get back to maybe a little bit of normalcy next year.
Are they moving to a new building next year too?
No. I think they're all good. And, speaking of the Devils, they had a tough trip out west this week. I mean, barring notwithstanding last night or even tonight. They had a tough trip out west.
But it really wasn't as bad as you think, right? So let's just talk about Calgary and Edmonton. Those are the last two games. They lost 6-3 in both games. In each games, they had a span of just under 4 minutes where they gave up 3 goals. So if that's an aberration. That's fluky. For that to happen twice in 2 games is fluky. So if you take that out, they're, 3-3 games. So they played both games. They didn't play bad in both games. They just had a period of 4 minutes in each where they shit the bed.
They had bad goaltending.
There was a couple of goals that he would want back, but he is an NHL goalie, so fuck Steve Valiquette.
I was being more of a dick.
Successfully doing it. Which brought us to last night's win, which again was a very weird game. You go down 2-0 against one of the best teams in the league, against the best goalie in the league. You don't expect to come back from that game. But 5 goals in the second period, and you win 7-4. I don't know how it happened, because I gave up on them. I turned it off after the first period. And even when they put up 5 in the second period, I didn't go back and turn it back on. I just said, they're doing well without me tonight. Have at it. Hughes scored 2 goals, points number 100 and 101 in his very young NHL career. He's up to 21 goals and 28 assists on the season in the 43 games he's played. So how's that contract next year looking? Tom?
What?
Any input? How's that contract looking now?
For what?
For Hughes, $8 million for the next 8 years, or whatever it was, $9 million. How's it looking?
All right, let's see what he does next year.
Okay, so you're still not.
He's having an okay year this year.
An okay year.
Yeah, for him.
49 points in 43 games is an okay year. Write that down, people.
For him,
just an okay year.
Let's see what he does next year.
And they followed Go ahead.
For the record, I think it's a good deal. I think it's going to be a deal that people will start to call.
Anybody with half a brain is going to think it's a good deal.
Shut up, Nick. No one asked you.
And then they followed it up, tonight with the Jekyll and Hyde performance, where they gave up 2 shorthanded goals against and lose to the Maple Leafs. So again, this whole trend of, win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 2, win 3, lose 1. It's just back and forth. They have not had a spell longer than 3 games where they won or lost in a row. 3 games. They only on 3 different occasions they've won or lost more than 3. Without those 3 losing streaks that they had, they're again right in the thick of things playoff wise. And it's all on the goaltending. So let's see what Hammond does when he comes in.
Hamburger. No one gets that but Billy. Bill, it does seem like the Penguins are hitting their stride, man. They're just they don't lose. It seems like every night, they'll throw the occasional 6-0 loss to the Devils in there, but it just seems like every night they're getting points. Like tonight, they were down 3-2 late in the third period. Bang, they score a power play goal. Get at least a point out of the game. I don't know what they're doing now. What happened? Did they win?
Lost in the shootout.
Good. Fuck them.
Yeah, that was since we met last Wednesday, 3 wins in St. Louis and then in Arizona, and then at home against Columbus. St. Louis was a shootout win. They're not very good at shootouts. And I was going to go talk today about how shitty Jake GuenTZEL is. Jake GuenTZEL? Shootouts. He's just awful, and they keep carting him out as the first shooter every fucking shootout, and it's a disaster. He was like 1 for 8 after the St. Louis game. The St. Louis game, they actually won in that shootout. It went enough rounds where they eventually brought in Brian Rust, who scored the game winner in the shootout, and and that made him 5 for 5 in his career. So I'm thinking, like, I mean, is this it seems too obvious. Like, Rust is a hot shootout guy. GuenTZEL can't do anything on a shootout. Why isn't Rust in the rotation? Because Rust went like 5th or something in the shootout in St. Louis. So then tonight in Buffalo, they put Rust out there first. He doesn't score as the first shootout guy for the Penguins. And Crosby doesn't score, and then it was over. So shootouts, I don't like shootouts anyway. Don't like overtime. I'm just a miserable curmudgeon with all this shit anyhow. But yeah, they got the point in Buffalo. Second of back-to-back nights. You'd like to beat Buffalo, but they're not the pushovers that they have been. Not every night anyway. Some nights they're just a disaster. When they're at their best, they're a formidable team. So outside of that, the Penguins didn't make the trade this week. They picked up Rickard Rakell, who took Radim Zohorna's number 67, took it right off his back. I mean, what were the odds that you're running around with a number 67 and they trade for a veteran player and you got to give up your number 67?
Only if they brought in Benoit Pouliot.
Just not a common one. Yeah. So Zohorna went to number 63. And Zohorna's play, I think, is one of the reasons why.
Where's he from, Billy, by the way? Where's he from?
Well, he played in the Czech Republic. He played in Brno. But again, I think the Penguins have a comfort level with his level of play, Zohorna, and so that's one of the reasons why they brought in Rakell to be a third or second line guy, and they sent 2 the other way with Zach Aston Reese and Dominic Simone, who were regular players, but not really big impact guys, not hard to replace. The only thing that is interesting to see the Penguins' approach in replacing is Zach Aston Reese and his penalty killing. Not that he was a great penalty killer; he was pretty average. But they've had Brian Rust on the penalty kill the last few days since the departure of Zach Aston Reese, and I find that very concerning because that was one of the things Rust did when he broke into the league to kind of get into the Penguins lineup and stick there, was be a penalty killer. And he's a fantastic penalty killer. There's no two ways about it. But he's also the kind of guy who would go stick the palm of his hand in front of a Zdeno Chara slap shot to block it in a 3-1 in a game where they're up 3-1 with like 4 minutes left. He doesn't have like that off switch of self-preservation when it makes sense, him on a penalty kill concerns me because that brings me back to his days of being very injury prone. They desperately need him to stay in the lineup. But yeah, the Penguins are the standings are now 3 points ahead of the Rangers. With Rangers do have that game in hand, but this is the first time since like early February that more than 2 points has separated the Rangers and the Penguins in the standings. It's been a dogfight. Now that's why I was saying, I know, Tom, I sent a text. I don't know how you took it when I was saying that, oh my God, is somebody ever going to beat the Rangers last night when the Rangers were up 2-0 on the Devils?
Right on fucking cue. Bang, Devils score a goal. Right on fucking cue. I literally wanted to throw my phone.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that one.
No, but, you're not, you dick.
I don't have that power to give them the evil eye. So what happened with them this week?
So listen, it was a roller coaster of emotions. It was a roller coasters of games and just everything. But they got some games coming up that are really going to define some things. And within the next week, they play the Penguins twice, home and away. Rangers, their last 18 games have 12 home games and 6 road games. And the furthest road game is going to be March 30th in Detroit. And they don't have another one outside of, the New York metro area until they got to play Boston, like the fourth to last game of the season. So home is going to be where the heart is for the Rangers. And they're 26-3 at home. They're also 20-13-2. Only one of 2 teams in the NHL right now with 20 wins at home and 20 wins on the road. The other one is the Colorado Avalanche. How's that for show prep, Brian? Fuck you. So this week they had 4 games. They have 4 games. The first one was against the Icelanders, and look, Nick said it right. It was Sorokin. It was Aaron Sorokin versus Igor Shesterkin, and it was a good game. Unfortunately, it ended the way it did. But that's the breaks you get sometimes, because you know what? Later on this week when they played the Canes, they really shouldn't have won that game. The Rangers, this was the problem. They outshot the Islanders 30-28. They won more faceoffs, 58% to 42%. And look, it was a pretty even game. It was a great game. Anytime the Rangers play the Icelanders, they play the Devils, you could throw the record books out the windows, even going back in the day. But Kreider continued his hot streak. Another power play goal, his 40th of the season. And he is certainly on a quest for 50. And I promise you, Ranger fans, for anybody who's listening, I promise you this. Panarin will score goals again. I promise. He has had a really tough time this year scoring goals against whoever is in net. He's getting his assists, he's getting his points, but his goal scoring has certainly gone down this year. And it's even with Ryan Strome, his scoring has gone down as well. So they went over to Tampa, which was the 8 p.m. ESPN game on Saturday night. And can ESPN please stop it with this fucking camera angle that floats above the zone? And it's just the worst thing ever. You can't see shit. Stop it. Stop it. So like the Rangers got outshot early and often. They lost a lot of draws, and Igor was really, really good. And that's their blueprint. That's been their blueprint. The Braden Point goal. Look, Shesterkin sat on the puck. Should the whistle have blown? Maybe. 9 times out of 10, the referees typically blow that whistle. The Point squeezed it through the Shesterkin. The puck was kind of laying between his pad. Point poked at the puck or even got his pad, and the puck went into the net. But it was a goal nonetheless, and that's where I said earlier about the consistency with the officiating. You just don't know what you're going to get night in and night out, which makes it so hard. And even on the Trouba goal, Hunt was in net real close to Vasilevsky, and Cooper decides to challenge. You can tell that wasn't going to be overturned, because Hunt really had no effect on Vasilevsky's positioning or his ability to play the puck. I really didn't understand the challenge. It wasn't overturned, and it led to another Ranger power play, which was fucking dismal all night. And I destroyed them all night on Twitter. And wouldn't you know it, at 1944 of the third period, Mika Zibanejad scored a power play goal with 1 second left on the power play to give the Rangers a really good 2-1 win. Igor was solid in net. Tampa was 56% on faceoffs, by the way, and outshot the Rangers 29-27. There you go. There's your recipe. They played the next night in Carolina, which I don't know, a little unfair. You play an 8 o'clock game, then you got to get on a plane, go to Carolina, and then play 2 hours earlier in the same time zone. Okay, fine, whatever. The Rangers got shellacked in every way, shape, and form in that game, except for goals scored and goals against. It's the only thing that they won all night. And the Rangers got outplayed in every facet of the game. They had 10 shots through the first 2 periods. 10 shots. 10! They had 8 shots in the final period. Canes were 55% on draws and outshot the Rangers 44-18. There's a couple of shifts by Ryan Reeves that really changed the tempo of periods. One early on the forecheck, and another one later on in the third period to really kind of energize the Rangers a little bit and get them going. Georgie was good early and often, all throughout that game. There was that play where the puck went behind the net. It was loose. The referee thought that Anderson was on the puck. He wasn't. Hedl got the puck, went around and scored, but the goal was waved off because the ref thought that the goaltender had covered it where it was clearly loose. And the ref was right on top of the play, which is fucking just mind-boggling to me, that all these things with the refs. And again, it furthers the discussion about how inconsistent they have been. But in the game, Kreider did get his 41st, certainly on a mission to 50. And Frank the Tank hit the empty net with the empty net goal to ice it. It was a game the Rangers shouldn't have won, but Georgie played his ass off, and kudos to him. And then you had last night. You make all those trades at the trade deadline, and you say, okay, you're feeling really good about yourself. The Rangers won the trade deadline, or was one of the top 3 teams that really impacted their team. And yeah, they absolutely did. On paper, they were great, but they played the first period. They played a tremendous first period. Igor was good, and they really looked like they put the clamps on the Devils, and it really looked like they were a different team with all of these NHL caliber players that they had now in the bottom 6. And they stopped playing. Look, you got to give credit and kudos to New Jersey Devils for not playing and playing hard all fucking night. But the Rangers, I don't know. They never came out for the second period. They thought they were going to coast through that game. They had beaten the Devils 8 straight times, right, at the Rock.
Yeah.
But, kudos to the Devils for not giving up and playing hard all night, and the Rangers just didn't. So we're going to see what happens. They were off today, which is puzzling to me. Why they were off on Monday. They had a game last night. You hit practice today and tomorrow and get ready for the fucking Pittsburgh game. But listen, I'm not the coach. But they played.
You're not?
No, I am not. They play the Penguins on Friday evening at 7 p.m. And they got
this podcast is completely different now.
And they got Buffalo on Sunday at 5 o'clock. What's with these weird fucking times? And then they got back-to-back road games in Pittsburgh and Detroit next week to finish out March. So it's these games next week with Pittsburgh really are going to decide home ice advantage in the first round. Because I don't think either one of them are going to catch Carolina, and I don't necessarily think Washington's going to catch either one of them. So these 2 games right here are for home ice advantage in that first round, and we'll see who gets it. And listen, Billy, if you're the Penguins, you want to play on the road? They certainly have a better. They seem like they're a better road team.
It makes you. I mean, you never want to be the road team. You always. I think you always want home ice advantage no matter what. Because Game 7, I mean, do you really want to be on the road or at home? I mean, no matter what. But yeah, I mean, it does make you feel better about that prospect when they have played so well on the road that, it doesn't, it's like, okay, I guess we'll go that way if it doesn't happen. It doesn't
like the last game they played it was 2-1 in favor of the Penguins. And listen, these games are going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for them this week. Really can't.
Yeah.
And now it's time for Trivia with Bill. Yeah.
Now this is the wrong Bill.
Okay, so we're going to fit this right in here because I think we're on a good track to do that 45-minute thing.
Yeah, we're real close.
Real close. Yep. About to hit it.
Damn near broke that shit off. What are you talking about?
Who was the first player to win the Kelly Cup, ECHL, the Calder Cup, AHL, and the Stanley Cup, NHL?
ECHL.
Won all 3.
And the Calder.
Is that Irish? Is that the luck of the Irish?
Kevin Dean.
No. Multiple choice?
Will this be a recent player in the last 20 years?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Fuck. I know this too. I just
Wayne Gretzky.
No, Wayne Gretzky didn't play in the ECHL. Probably not the AHL either. I'm gonna guess.
I think he played in the other. I think he played in the O. Corey Perry.
Corey Perry.
Was it Martin St. Louis?
No, not your Walmart friend.
ECHL.
Yeah, I don't think he ever did that.
And AHL.
Anson Carter.
Not Anson Carter.
Mike Greer.
No.
AJ Greer, right?
Pam Greer.
Isn't there?
Pam Greer. Jackie Brand.
Yeah, I got to go multiple choice.
Gordie Howe?
That was not Gordie Howe. So the multiple choice is A, Evgeny Kuznetsov, B, Brett Connolly, C, Jay Beagle, or D, TJ Oshie.
I like Jay Beagle, I think. I'm going to go Jay. I'm going Jay Beagle.
What you said that? Yes, and I said
I'm gonna say Jay Beagle.
The answer
that
is
was option C. Yeah, Jay Beagle. That's what I'm saying.
That is correct.
Oh, nice.
That is correct.
Wow.
Nice. Look at me. Look at me go. I think I'm like 3 for 3.
Pretty good, man. Jay Beagle.
Damn. I was thinking Calder as in the fucking Rookie of the Year. I'm a fucking idiot.
Oh, no.
Calder Cup, not the Calder
fucking idiot.
AHL.
I was fucking idiot. All right.
Yes, you are.
Why don't you just go cook your Frosted Flakes some more?
Wow.
Corn Flakes, I'm sorry.
Fantastic. Wow. Good job, stupid. All right. Since we already met Rhonda, let's go to this date in Steve's stomach.
Oh, that feels better.
This one brings us to the year of our Lord, 2021.
Which, for those of you keeping track at home, is last year.
Yeah. Please go to October 13th. October 13th of 2021.
October 13th.
October 13th.
Yeah. Yep.
Was a Wednesday. Breakfast was a Belvita snack pack and Coke Zero can.
Good Lord. Belvita. How do you eat cheese for breakfast?
No, not Velveeta, you dumb shit. Belvita. Dumb motherfucker. Because I was working from home, I had a homemade burger for lunch and a can of Coca-Cola Zero.
Is that a sirloin burger?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, delicious.
And dinner was delicious chicken and waffles with a homemade chicken and waffles with a can of Coca-Cola. And wrapped that up with some little ice cream from Halo Farms and recorded this podcast on my very new Apple MacBook Air laptop, which arrived Wednesday, October 13th, 2021.
Wow. What a banner day.
Big day.
Wow.
Big day.
Big day.
Big day. Why did you pick October 13th, 2021?
Because that was the day
I got a new laptop.
At 90 years old, or should I say 90 years young.
Get a life, will you?
Our own William Shatner got sent into space on Blue Origin as the oldest person to ever go into space. And that's what happened October 13th, 2020.
Barely went into space on a big penis rocket.
God, okay. I hate Star Trek too.
Really scraping the bottom of the barrel with these events now. You got to come up big next week. I need you to come up big.
That was important.
That was bullshit. I need something. You're better than that.
You don't think William Shatner going to space is huge news?
Tom, you're better than that.
There's something in the wing. Something.
That's quite
The only funny thing Shatner ever did was the Saturday Night Live bit about the Star Trek conventions.
Saturday Night Live sucks.
It's the only good thing he ever did.
He was on Saturday Night Live. I got to look up that bit.
Yeah, just go watch Galaxy Quest. It's a better version of Star Trek.
Or don't.
Have you ever seen Galaxy Quest?
Right. I can.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
An hour and a half of my life.
I seen Galaxy Quest. Yeah, it's good.
You did,
I wasn't there.
I would rather listen to Billy's music than watch that.
Really?
Well,
it's a comedy.
I mean, it's just a total spoof on Star Trek.
It's just but it's an amazing spoof, and it's
but did you have to watch Star Trek to understand it?
No, zero. It makes it's great. Come on, Alan Rickman.
All right. I will definitely watch Galaxy Quest before the other guys. No problem.
You should. We'll enjoy it.
Such a good movie. You're missing out. You're just hurting yourself, man. You're just hurting yourself.
All right, that's gonna do it for our 4-hour podcast tonight.
Do we have a new outro?
I do. I have written everything.
Oh my God, is it typed up?
I typed it. Oh yeah, I absolutely do.
Show
fucking prep, Brian. Show fucking prep. You cocksucker. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at friends_rivals. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We will read them on the air if you want us to. Turn on notifications so you never miss an episode of the Friends and Rivals podcast. Billy, say something, Woody.
apparently today I need to address the fucking allegations that I fucking curse too goddamn fucking much in today's fucking podcast. I don't know what the fuck you want me to do. I mean, we talk about the fucking Flyers. You can't really talk about the Flyers without fucking cursing, because fuck the Flyers.
Fuck the Flyers.
And I mean, I live in New Jersey where there's shitty fucking people, and I just, this is just how I have to fucking talk sometimes, just so that I don't fucking go punch somebody. This keeps me from being violent. Do you get it? So what the fuck? What the fuck you want me to do?
Right. How's your internet and your cable provider? You like them?
Fucking Cablevision's such a piece of fucking shit. Oh my god, it was all day today. I was on fucking jury duty, virtual jury duty. Unstable connection. Fuck, I get it. Fucking unstable. What the fuck do you want me to goddamn do? Oh, it's goddamn disaster. Oh, thanks for bringing that up.
Wow. Yeah, could you stop fucking cursing and sing us out, please?
Oh, sorry, Ryan.
Oh, my friends and rivals. Flyers fuck off.